everyone, I'm Shelly Lynn. Welcome to my channel, and today I'm going to talk to you guys about dealing with someone who has anxiety. Unfortunately, as a kid, I struggled with anxiety every day. Like during my 4th and 5th grade year, I was out of school almost every day because I just couldn't do it. I would get so anxious and so nervous. I would get to school and just throw up everywhere. And it was constantly an issue. Even with high school, I didn't participate in anything. I never did anything. I stayed in my room at home because I was always so nervous. And to you parents who have kids, some of you could be a factor of why your kid's not actually doing the things that you feel like they would really like. And it's not really your fault. It's just like you don't really know what to say or do to help your child. As I got older, I worked in daycare a lot, and in that, I dealt with a lot of kids who had anxiety, and I was able to calm them down because I got it. I knew what was up. I knew why they were crying, why they were stressed out. And today I want to help you guys just deal with someone, if that's an adult or a kid, deal with anxiety and allow them to just do everything. Especially that you can also use this trick on yourself if you're an adult yourself and you're struggling with anxiety, how to just help yourself out. So the first thing is, before whatever's happening, before school starts, before anything, boost it up. Making it sound so exciting that the day the kid is going to school, you've already pumped them up for that day and they're going to be excited about starting. Don't agree with it. Make it positive and make them think like that's going to be the best day of their life is when they go in that classroom or when they go to that camp or whenever they're doing anything. Let them know like it's going to be okay, but in a positive, affirming way. I feel like the worst thing that you could possibly say is, if you need me, just call me. I'm always here. If you need me, you don't have to go, That's the worst possible thing ever, because when your kid gets older and they're going to start a new job or they're going to start in college, they can't call you for you to come pick them up. That's just not going to happen. That was the thing with me, is once I did get into the real world and I was trying to do all the adult things that I needed to do, I couldn't do them because I constantly had my mom say, I can just call me, I'll come pick you up. Like, it was allowing me to exit out of a situation. And I feel like that was the worst thing ever. I think the best thing for a parent to do, and I know this is so sad to say, is literally just dropping your kid off and telling them, you're gonna have a great day, and leaving as soon as possible, because they're really using you as their protection. And yes, I know, like, as a parent, you want to protect your child, but in the future, it's going to help them so much if you just leave and you allow people who have degrees and been doing it for years, who've been working with anxiety and counselors, calm them down, because they know exactly what to do to help your child out, and that's the best option for your child. So just remember that, especially when you're taking your kid to camp. A lot of those people have been doing that for so long. They've seen it millions of times, and they know exactly what to say. They know exactly what to do to help your child out. They're not freaking out about being there. They're freaking out about a fear. Maybe they're thinking like, what if something happens to my mom? So, it's not basically them being actually there. It's something happening up here that's getting them to freak out. Whether that be, what if no one likes me? Or what if no one wants to hang out with me? Getting it off their mind. It's just like if an elephant is in the room, not bringing the subject up, acting like, there's no problem, and not giving it a name. Like, the worst thing for me was when people were like, oh, you have anxiety. So that was constantly like an excuse. Like, oh, I have anxiety, so I can't do this. Oh, I have anxiety and I can't go to this camp. And just making it in a way that is better. So if you're dealing with a young child, just be like, oh, that's just elephants or butterflies in your stomach. They're just so excited for what's to come. But as soon as you just, calm down, they'll go away. And that's like the best way to put it to a child. Just like, this is going to last for a second. It's just the way your body works because you're in a new place. And explaining to them kind of and getting them to understand it in a childlike way is the best way to go about it. It depends on the child or the person you're dealing with, but sometimes the best thing for you to do is just to be quiet and let them talk. Let them get out whatever they're thinking or whatever they're feeling, and eventually once they get it all out, they'll calm down. You may not see it right away, and sometimes it takes a couple days, it takes a while for a child to just feel comfortable and feel like they can just be themselves and feel safe. But just keep at it every single day. The last thing I want to talk about is dealing with someone who has anxiety who just will not stop freaking out. I feel like that's the worst thing because they may be crying for hours and they're like getting sick. I was one of those people who I was just getting sick and like constantly throwing up. And I know in some environments and situations you have to call the parent if it's with a child. But I know this sounds crazy, but after that throw up, that's kind of like that release of all the anxiety and built up. And after you throw up or after you have that, maybe you have diarrhea because of your anxiety, after that is released, you just feel so much better. And I think the best thing is when, if you can, if a child does that, realize that they're gonna probably feel better after that. Now that's not in all cases. If they're like constantly throwing up, go ahead with the protocol that you need to call. But sometimes the best thing is just allowing them to do that, get it out of their system. And I know as for some parents, it's super hard seeing your kid in a situation like that and hearing like, oh, your child was freaking out about you not being here. I think you need to realize when they get older, you're not going to always be there. One day they're going to be a teenager and they're going to have to go on their way by themselves. And as a parent, you really need to try your best to try and get them to be on their own while they're at school or while they're at soccer practice. So when they get older, they'll be fine. And I think some people forget that their kid one day is going to grow up. And I'll just let you know from my point of view, my mom being like that with me, like always coming to my rescue, ruined me. It hurt me. It held me back from a lot of opportunities because she was constantly like, oh, okay, I know you have anxiety, you know, you don't have to go, you don't have to do this. And I feel like that's the worst thing you could possibly do. There's a lot of things now that I have no choice to do. I have to go to work. I have to go to school. You know, I have to get my education. I can't constantly call my mom and say, Mom, I can't do this. Now with dealing with insurance or, you know, the other day I had to be on the phone with the IRS. I can do that now by myself because I know it's up to me. I can't rely on my mom for everything. I can't rely on her to take care of whatever situation I've got myself in. I can't rely on her to build my credit. I can't rely on her to get me a degree. You know, it's all up to me. And as a parent, I feel like you should be pushing your child and getting them to the point and giving them guidance to where when they are old enough to be out on their own, that they can do it, that they'll be fine without you. And I know that's really sad to say, but I just want to be real with you guys. I want to be real with you parents who are dealing with a child who you don't really understand like what's going on. Like why is my child freaking out every time I drop them off somewhere? Again, when I'm in certain situations, it's super hard. I used to just quit because as a kid, you know, I could just call my mom and I could quit. But now I've had to learn, you know, I have to stick through it. I have to just do it. And I wish I'd have learned that at a younger age instead of being 21 and finally having to learn that for myself. You know, I just can't. It's crazy to me that at one point in my life that I didn't want to be alone. That was what I was scared of. And I was also scared of like meeting new people and social aspects. That was kind of what my anxiety stemmed from, is being social, because I always had someone be social for me. But anyways, I hope if you are a parent or you have a friend that deals with it, or whoever deals with it, if your wife, your girlfriend, your sister, I hope this helped you help them deal with it, because I wish I had a video like this when I was a kid for my mom to watch and be like, okay, this is what I need to do to help Shelly in every way that I can. Hope this again helped a lot. If you have any questions, don't feel free to like ask them or whatever. I do have a blog that you can ask me questions or anything. I will be posting stuff about anxiety there. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.